welcome to the Quiet Your Inner Mean Girl podcast, a place for you to find the courage you need to take the first step and every step thereafter to create the habits, the confidence, and the life that you love. I'm your host, health and life coach, Abby Hegney. Let's dive in. Hello, welcome back. Episode 25. Today, I am going to talk to you about 10 lessons learned from investing in yourself. And I'm really excited to bring this to you today. Normally, I write out some bullet points and things that I want to touch on and talk to you about. And today, I'm just coming on here. I have the 10 things that I want to talk to you about, but I'm coming on here ad hoc. So we're just going to let this one flow. But I'm really excited for this episode. I think it's going to be incredibly valuable for all of you, especially if you have something that you want to do, whether it is creating new habits in your life, whether it is building your confidence to take the next step, whether it is finding balance or going for a new promotion at work. What I'm going to walk you through today can apply to any obstacle, any doubt that you have, any investment in yourself, whether it is time or energy or money that you want to spend that you are just maybe holding yourself back from making, or you don't know if it's the right step for you, or you're afraid to make the wrong decision. I'm going to walk you through what came up for me and how I handled it, because I recently took a big step myself. I recently made a big investment in myself, and I went through all of the emotions, all of the thoughts, all of the things that tend to hold us back. And I want to walk you through how I came to the decision that I made and how I found the decision that I feel really good about. So, if you did not check out last week's episode 24 on hard work, I mentioned on that episode that I recently applied for, got accepted, and enrolled in a mastermind course with my coach. This is a high-level business coaching mentorship that I have been wanting to do for the past few years. And I have just been really afraid to take that step, to make that decision, to invest in myself. And this year, I did it, and I'm so excited for it. But that decision was not made without the same self-doubt that I have felt for a couple years now, without the same mind drama that I have been through over the past couple of years. They were all there. The heavy emotions that can weigh us down, that can hold us back. I still experience those. But the way that I handled it this time around is so different than any other time. It is what got me to the decision of, yes, this is for me. I am ready. There is no better time. So the first lesson that I want to share with you today is that you always have the opportunity to talk yourself into something or out of something. Most of the time, we tend to talk ourselves out of things. We talk ourselves out of things because we're scared. We are afraid that we're going to fail. We're not sure if it's the right step. We are not sure if it's the right investment for us. We're scared. We don't feel ready. We don't know how we're possibly going to fit it in when our lives are so busy. Maybe it feels uncomfortable. There is always an opportunity to talk yourself out of something, and there is always an equal opportunity to talk yourself into something. When I work with women, I want them to get really good at talking themselves into the things that they want. Because if you don't get really good at talking yourself into something, you will always talk yourself out of it. Like I said, I've talked myself out of this for probably at least 2 years, maybe 3 years now. I have talked myself out of this. I took that off the table this year. I was not going to allow myself to talk myself out of this opportunity before I allowed myself to really explore it in detail. This is the big difference. It doesn't mean that I was like, okay, I'm going to forget all of these negative emotions and all of these thoughts and I'm just going to do it. No, I allowed them to be there, but I also allowed myself to explore what else. So, the second lesson that I am taking away from this is that doubting yourself is a normal part of the process. We think that when we doubt ourselves, that is reason to not do something. That is means to talk yourself out of it. I want you to know that doubting yourself is normal, especially if you are doing something that you have never done before. That is your inner mean girl. She's going to put up all of the flags and she's going to try to pull you back into your comfort zone. She wants you to stay where you are, doing all of the things that you have always done, making all of the decisions you have always made, telling yourself the same stories that you have always told yourself, because that is safe to her. Your brain likes efficiency. Anything out of what you already know, what you're already doing, how you already think about your life is going to signal to your brain that it's inefficient and that it's wrong. That self-doubt is a natural part of the process. You can't create change in your life without experiencing some level of doubt. That level of doubt is going to vary depending on what it is that you're facing. Some self-doubt may be really easy for you to move through. Others may feel really hard to move through. But I want you to know that self-doubt is simply an emotion in your body. It is not a barrier. You can allow self-doubt to be there and to move through it, to see what's on the other side. Lesson number 3 goes along with this in that when you are creating any sort of change in your life, when you are doing anything that is different than what you have always done, even if that is like changing the way that you are thinking about things, changing your perspective, you have to expect discomfort. Most people get scared by discomfort. Our natural human ability or human response is to want to feel good all of the time, but we can't possibly feel good all of the time. This is where we go wrong. This is why we try to shove our negative emotions under the rug and be like, no, 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 I'm not feeling that. And then we shove them down so much that eventually they boil up and they burn us out, they stress us out, they cause us a lot of anxiety, they hold us back from what we really want. When you expect new decisions, when you expect creating new habits, when you expect thinking differently about situations, showing up differently, going bigger, going more boldly than you've ever gone before, you have to expect it to be uncomfortable. Not because you can't handle it, just because it's different. When you meet that discomfort with compassion, for of course, this feels uncomfortable right now. I've never done this before. I've never thought this way. I never explored how this could be possible for me. you will move through it so much faster than before. You won't feel held back by it anymore. Feeling your way through that discomfort may be the hardest thing that you do, but you are capable of doing it. And when you do it, it can be so freeing because if you are not afraid of the negative emotions, there's not much else to be afraid of. If you know I can feel uncomfortable and I can still take one step forward, nothing is going to stop you anymore. You'll be willing to take the step, to take every step thereafter, despite the discomfort. You will feel empowered through the discomfort. I always say if you feel uncomfortable, it means you're doing it right. It means you're stepping outside of your comfort zone. You're creating new habits for yourself. You're building bigger confidence for yourself. You're creating a level of balance that you haven't yet had. You're exploring what your life could be like. You can't do that without discomfort. So when you feel discomfort, just know you are doing it right. Let the discomfort, let the self-doubt fuel you instead of stopping you. Lesson 4 is that you have to see what you are really saying no to. When we talk ourselves out of things, we say no in the moment. We may be saying no to discomfort. We may be saying no to investing time or money or energy into something. What we don't see is what we are really saying no to. In this case, when I thought about this, and I thought if I say no to this opportunity, what I'm really saying no to is making this big investment. The thing that was holding me back was spending this amount of money on myself. It felt selfish. It felt like I shouldn't be doing this. This was my thoughts, right? I shouldn't be doing this. I could be spending this money on all of these other things. I was saying no to spending the money. And this is where my mind has gone for the past few years when I have talked myself out of it. This year, when I took talking myself out of it just off the table and I allowed myself to really explore what it could mean to make this investment in myself, in my business, in my growth, in my clients who are going to benefit from this. What I saw was what I was really saying no to. I was really saying no to the opportunities that this would provide for me. What I was really saying no to was the chance to level up, to better coach my clients, to bring my clients more value, to create this ripple effect for the women that I want to coach in this world. What I was really saying no to was the confidence that I could feel myself being pulled to by simply making the decision to say yes to myself. I was really saying no to the habits that I really wanted to create for myself of being able to step outside that comfort zone, to go big, to not hold myself back, which is exactly what I coach my clients on. I was saying no to the life that I envision for myself, for the business that I want to create, that I know is meant to be there to support all of these women that I want to reach. When you are thinking about making change in your life, you have to explore what you are really saying no to when you tell yourself, I'm not ready. It's not the right time. I can't possibly add one more thing to my plate. I don't have the money, or it's selfish to invest in myself in this way. What are you really saying no to? I thought about my clients who, yes, it is expensive, or it is time consuming, or it does require you to think differently when you are investing in yourself, when you are creating change. But I think about my clients who went through these same emotions, the same self-doubt, the same discomfort, and have invested in themselves and have created such a different life for them in such a short amount of time. I think about the ripple effect that their confidence, that their energy, that the way that they show up has on every aspect of their lives. How they are showing up with more presence and more energy for their kids and their partners, how they are more focused and more productive at work, how they're setting boundaries for themselves and creating balance. And that's not only helping them, but it's helping everybody around them because they are inspiring others to do the same. What are you really saying no to when you tell yourself you're not ready? It's not the right time. You can't possibly invest in yourself in whatever way that looks like for you. Look to see what is on the other side. Number 5 goes along with this, in that you have to see the value in creating the change that you want to create in your life. What is the value of you creating more work-life balance in your life? What is the value of you setting boundaries for yourself? What is the value of you losing the weight that you have been struggling to lose? What is the value of you putting aside the quick fixes and focusing on the life that you want and the habits that you want to be creating and sustaining for the long term? What is the value of you showing up as the woman that you want to be and being the example of what is possible for everyone around you? As I was exploring this decision, I had to think about what is the value of me making this investment in both time and money. Because this is a 6-month program that I'm going into, and it's going to require not only that big investment, but it's also going to require my time. And it can be really easy for me to think I don't have that time. I've got a business, I've got clients, I've got kids, I've got a life. But I had to look at what is the value of me investing this money, this energy, and this time. And what I saw was that it's going to make me more efficient in the long run. It's going to make me such an incredible problem solver. It's going to boost my confidence in ways that I haven't even yet tapped into. And it's going to be incredibly valuable for my family and for my clients. When I thought about the value that this program is going to bring to my family in terms of how I'm showing up, how believing in myself enough to go after something that I really want, that is the example that I want to set for my kids. When I think about the value that this high level coaching is going to bring to my clients, it made saying yes to this so easy. When I thought about taking my marketing and my selling and my delivering and my coaching to another level, I thought about the impact that I can have on women around the world. That felt very compelling to me. It felt so compelling that it felt harder to say no to this than it felt to say yes to this. So I want you to think about that for yourself. What is the value of saying yes to yourself? Really think about that. What is the value of creating the habits that you have been wanting to create, creating the consistency, the balance in your life, the confidence in who you are and what you do? What is the value of that on yourself, on others, on your entire life? Focus on the value. Lesson number 6 is that there could always be a better time to get started, and this could be the best time. And this is kind of goes hand in hand with there's always the opportunity to talk yourself into something or talk yourself out of something. There will always be the thought that it's not the right time. There's a better time for this. When life slows down, then I'll do it. When we hit the new year, then I'll start. I need to start when like the kids are out of school for the summer, or I need to wait until the kids are back in school for the summer. As long as you give yourself the option that there is a better time, you're always going to tell yourself that there's a better time, which in the long term means you're never going to get started because you're never going to think it's the right time to start. I want you to think about there always could be a better time, and this can be the best time to start. And when you think about moving yourself through self-doubt and discomfort, when you think about what you're really saying no to when you say no, and when you think about the value of a yes, it makes it a lot easier to believe that right now is the best time. And really, the best time is the time that you decide is the best time. When I thought about waiting after I processed what I was really saying no to and the value of a yes, it was just so clear that this was the best time to be doing this. There was no other choice for me. Which takes me to lesson 7, which is a yes and mentality. Most of us immediately jump to no. And here's why. No. And these are all of the reasons. No, I can't do it. No, it's not the right time. When we are in a no mentality, it will always be a no mentality. I can't do it. It's not the right time. It's not going to work. I don't know how I could possibly fit it in. I'm so busy. But it can also be yes and yes, it's expensive and it's the most valuable investment I could ever make. Yes, it's going to take time, and that time is going to make me more efficient. Yes, I feel self-doubt. There are thoughts from my inner mean girl of like, well, what if you fail? Maybe it's not going to work. And I can find confidence and trust in myself to make this decision. Yes, there could be a better time, and this is the best time to do it. I always tell my clients, if you're going to look at the negative, you have to look at the positive as well. If you're going to tell yourself one story, you've got to see the other story. It's the same with the yes and mentality. You're not disregarding the doubt and the fear and the trepidation that you feel. You're seeing it, you're feeling it, and you're reminding yourself what you really want, the life that you want to create for yourself, the habits that you want to create, the confidence that you want to feel. You're seeing what's on the other side and you're bringing yourself back to the desire. It's desire and it's doubt, and you just need your desire to be a little bit stronger than your doubt. Lesson number 8 is to trust yourself. Nobody knows you like you. You've got to trust that what you want is there for a reason. You have to trust that you are capable of figuring it out, even if you don't know every step along the way. You have to trust that you won't fail because you're not going to give up. I went through every possible scenario, right? My brain, when it wanted to talk myself out of this, went to all of these things. Yeah, but what if it doesn't work? What if it doesn't work for me? What if I just invest this money and I don't get what I came for? And here's the thing. I had to bring myself back to trust in myself that I will always get what I came for. That is not anybody else's responsibility. That is always on me. I will not fail because I will not give up. That is nobody else's responsibility but myself. I'm not afraid to take that first step. I'm not afraid to invest my time and my energy and my money in this because I trust myself that I will be a better coach, a better mom, a better wife, a better entrepreneur on the other side of this. I will have more confidence in myself because I just trust myself that I will move myself along the path to get there. That step by step, I will find the wins. I will celebrate them. I will also look at what's not working and I will learn from them and I will keep myself moving forward. I trusted myself enough to make this decision, which takes me to lesson 9. And this is a really big one. And I think where so many of us really struggle and what can be a really big barrier for a lot of us. It's lesson 9 is that you have to make your own decision and bring other people along for it. And what I mean by this is a lot of the times we want other people to make the decision for us. We have to talk to our husband or our mom or our friend, and we have to get all of their opinions and their thoughts on it. And really, what we're looking for is for them to make the decision for us, to tell us it's the right move, it's the best next step for us. But the problem is that everybody will always have an opinion, and their opinion may not match your opinion because they don't see, number one, what's on the other side, but also they aren't living what you are living right now. They don't feel the lack of confidence in themselves that you may feel in yourself. They don't feel the pressure of feeling like they need to be on all of the time for work and be on all of the time for their families. They don't feel the struggle or the exhaustion or the stress or the anxiety that you are feeling. We can't possibly look to somebody else to make that decision for us when they don't understand where you are right now and what you see on the other side, the life that you see for yourself, the habits that you want to create because you believe they will make you feel so much better. They don't see how your confidence is going to shift when you do things differently. They don't see the impact that you see that this could have on your life. And so when I was going through this, I immediately wanted to jump in to like, all right, I got to talk to my husband. I got to like talk all this through with him. I got to see what his thoughts are. I got to understand, like, I got to like lean on him to like give me comfort to make this decision. That's where my brain wanted to go. This time around, though, I pulled myself back from that. I asked myself, what is it that I want? Why do I want this? All of the things that I've talked to you about already today. What is the value of doing this? What's on the other side? What am I really saying no to? How is this going to impact not only me, but him and our kids and my clients and potentially the rest of our lives? I had to trust myself to make a decision. And then it wasn't that I just like barged ahead and made the decision and then told him about it. That's just not how we operate as a family. But what I did was I could go to him with the decision that I already made and the reasons why I made this decision, the decision that I wanted to make. And I could hear any thoughts that he had about it. I could hear any doubts that he had about it. And I could seek his support and his champion for that decision. I could seek his confidence in me, but I didn't allow him to make that decision for me. I made that decision for myself, and making that decision for myself helped me to bring him along in this decision. And it ended up being a very easy conversation to have and a very simple decision to make because I had already made it for myself. I felt very grounded and very confident in that. And then it was just more of a, hey, I'm doing this. And here's why. And this is the value. And this is why I want your support. And here's what it's going to mean for us. And it was very simple. Sometimes we make it really hard to have these conversations with other people. And I want you to think about what would be different if you made this decision for yourself. If you felt really grounded in this decision and you just brought other people along for you, for the ride with you. And then the final decision, the final lesson, lesson 10, is that you have to celebrate yourself. And this is something I personally have held myself back from for so long in celebrating these big moves that I make. And even when they're small moves, but they feel really big to me, which this one is kind of one of those, like to other people, it could seem like a really like small thing and like, oh yeah, great, nice job. But to me, it felt like this massive step forward. It still feels like a massive step forward. And in the past, I may have shied away from celebrating this. I may have celebrated it like with my husband, maybe a close friend or my mom, but I put it out there this year. I wrote an email, I posted on social media. I was so proud of making this decision. And I think I was so proud of making this decision because of all of these things that I just walked you through today. I really allowed myself to navigate this, to explore the options, to not immediately jump into talking myself out of it. I wasn't immediately a no because of the high price tag. I wasn't immediately a no because it was going to require time and energy that I didn't know or don't know. I don't know until I do it. I didn't know where it was going to come from or how I'm going to fit it all in. But I think the biggest thing is that I saw what's on the other side. I believed in myself. I believe in myself enough to take this step. I see how I am capable of taking this step and achieving bigger things for myself. And that comes from not holding myself back. And I wanted to celebrate that because I want other women to celebrate themselves too and to not be afraid of these big steps. I want other women to invest in themselves, to go after the habits and the confidence and the balance and the life that they want to be living. I think about, wow, if more women felt this compelled to take care of themselves, to dream big, to go after what they really want, and to know that they will figure it out, the world would be such a completely different place. But when we make decisions for ourselves, I was going to say big decisions, but I think even the smaller decisions can feel this way too. When we make decisions for ourselves, for something that we want, we can get this sense of guilt, of shame, of doubt, of like, oh my gosh, I made the wrong decision. I can't believe I did this. It's like buyer's remorse, but I think you can even feel that way when you're just committing like time for yourself, right? Like if you go to the gym or you go away for a weekend and you're like, oh, you feel so guilty. I should be with my kids. I think it's so natural for us to feel this sense of guilt or shame or trepidation even after we make decisions. And then even afterwards, we can end up talking ourselves out of it, being like, you know what, I thought it was the right decision, but it's really not the right decision for me. And backing ourselves back to like square one before like lesson one of like doubting yourself is a normal part of the process or talking yourself out of it. But if we celebrate ourselves, if we really allow ourselves to celebrate taking this step to seeing how it's not a selfish thing, it's going to carry us through. I had a moment about 2 days later where I was like, oh no, what did I just do? And I had to come back to this moment where I celebrated myself, where I felt so grounded and motivated and inspired for this next step. And now that is all that I feel. I want to offer these 10 lessons to you as well, especially for us women. I think all of these 10 lessons are the reasons that we don't do the things that we want to do. We don't create the change that we want to create. We don't establish the habits that we really want to be a part of our lives. We hold ourselves back from building that confidence, the calmness, the balance in our lives because somewhere along the line, we get stuck in one of these 10 lessons. One of these 10 things comes up and we back down versus moving ourselves through it. Take these 10 lessons today and apply them to your own life. No matter what the change is that you want to create, think about what is getting in your way? Where along these 10 lessons are you getting stuck? And what do you need to believe about yourself in order to move yourself through it? Find that, and nothing can stop you. I hope that you go back and you re-listen to this episode over and over and over again. I hope that you learn to allow the self-doubt to be there and to move through it. I hope that you talk yourself into things more than you talk yourself out of things, that you see the value of what's on the other side, and that you know the discomfort will be there, but you trust yourself enough to move through it. And I hope that you celebrate yourself for knowing that, yes, it may require hard work. And yes, you're willing to do the hard work. Yes, it may be expensive and it's going to be the most valuable thing that you do. Yes, you may feel guilty about it. And look at the example that you're setting. Find the yes and mentality and go after the habits that you want to create, the confidence that you want to feel, the balance that you want to be in your life so that you can live the life that you love. All right, my friends, those are my 10 lessons from investing in yourself. I can't wait for you to do this work and to explore these lessons and to take them to the next level for you. And if you want support with this, if you are ready to do this work for yourself, join me in Confident Mind and Body. Okay? I will see you inside. You are ready to quiet your inner mean girl. I invite you to join me inside Confident Mind and Body, my private coaching program, where you will learn to quiet your inner mean girl and create the habits, the confidence, and the life that you love. Just visit wellnesswithabbyh.com and schedule a free consultation.